Now let's add adjectives to the mix. Okay? So, sticking with our pizza and tacos, I eat the taco, el taco. I eat the cold taco, el taco frío. Okay? I eat the hot taco, el taco caliente, and the special taco, el taco especial. All right, why did I choose these adjectives as examples? The cold taco, the hot taco, and the special taco. I chose these three for a reason, because adjectives will fall into three categories. Adjectives that end in an A or an O, adjectives that end in an E, and adjectives that end in a anything else. Okay? So, or I could even say, yeah, we'll call that, consonants. Adjectives that end in consonants. So there's like three types of adjectives: frío, caliente, especial. But what I want you to see is first what happens when we make them plural. Okay? And this is true for all nouns as well. Nouns can also end in an O, an E, or a consonant. So let's look at what happens when we make things plural. The taco, el taco, los tacos, you add an S. All right, los tacos fríos, the cold tacos. And los tacos calientes, the hot tacos. And los tacos especiales, the special tacos. What's going on here? What do I want you to notice? Two things, maybe a few things. First, the adjective goes after the noun. In English, it's adjective noun. In Spanish, it's noun adjective. Again, you won't memorize that. You only can get that through muscle memory, repetition. So don't worry if you get your brain all confused. Don't overthink it right now. All right? But the adjective goes after the noun. Okay? The other thing is that when a word is plural, okay, you add an E. If the word ends in a vowel, like if it ends in an O or an E, you just put an S on it and that makes it plural. So frío becomes fríos. And the adjectives have to match the noun. So los tacos, cool. Los tacos fríos. The adjective. So the noun is the center of the solar system, and the articles and adjectives, the descriptive words describing the tacos, are circling around it. They have to match whatever the noun is. The noun is tacos, then they have to be plural and masculine. Okay? Los tacos fríos. All right. Now this one, los tacos calientes. Yep, you add an S. And then this one, especial and especiales. Los tacos, you see how to make a word plural that ends in a consonant, you have to add ES. And that's true for nouns and adjectives. So, for example, pared means wall. It's a noun and it means wall, and paredes is walls. Okay, so if a noun or an adjective ends in a consonant, that's how you make it plural, with es. If it's libro, like book, then it's libros is books. Okay, so we've got the plural thing going on, and we got the plural thing going on. And we've got the adjectives matching the nouns, so that's good. Now let's move on down here, and now we're changing the gender to the pizza. Let's see how that impacts the adjectives. When we go from masculine adjectives, now same adjectives, but with a feminine noun. Masculine noun, masculine adjectives. Feminine noun, feminine adjectives. Let's see what that does. Okay? I eat the pizza, yo como la pizza. I eat the cold pizza, la pizza fría. So frío became fría. So that's the first rule. The words that end in, the adjectives that end in O's become A's if they're describing a feminine thing. Okay, so la pizza fría, el taco frío. So the adjective has to match the noun. But the next one, la pizza caliente, doesn't change, and la pizza especial doesn't change. So what's happening there? Because only the adjectives that end in an O will change to an A, and vice versa. Adjectives that end in anything else, an E, an L, a consonant, they won't change genders. Okay, the only gender-changing adjectives will be the adjectives that end in O's. O's become A's, A's become O's, depending if the noun is masculine or feminine. The adjective will be masculine or feminine. Again, all you're going to do is hit your flashcards and practice these ones we got here. I don't want you to think every time, is it masculine, feminine, singular, plural, and this and that. I don't want you to worry about that yet. This will come through muscle memory and lots of repetition. Okay? But you get the point. All right? Las pizzas frías, las pizzas calientes, las pizzas especiales. Okay? So that is adjectives with nouns. Masculine, feminine, singular, plural, nouns. The adjectives match the nouns. If it's feminine, they have to be feminine. And if it's plural, they have to be plural. If it's singular, they have to be singular. Whatever the noun is, the adjective follows. Okay? And if the adjective ends in an O or an A, it has to change. All right? Good. Now, the only thing I want to say about the rules of gender, okay, is rule number 1. All right? When we're talking about is it masculine or feminine, and everyone, plural and singular is obvious. It's either taco or tacos. But is it going to be masculine or feminine? And this drives beginners crazy. Maybe it's driven you crazy. The first rule is it doesn't matter. Don't worry, they'll understand you anyway. Please do not lose sleep over gender nouns. Is it el libro or la libro? Is it el agua or la agua? Is it el cerveza or la cerveza? Please stop worrying. Okay? Why? Because if you get it wrong, they'll understand you anyway. All right? As long as you know that it's libro is book, right? And oven is horno. If you say la libro and la horno, it won't make a bit of difference in terms of you understanding them or they understanding you. And when they speak, if you know libro and horno, you won't have any trouble understanding them either, because you know what they're talking about. Okay? Gender is something you get through immersion, not through memorization. You will not master gender today. You will not master gender this week. All you're going to do is get familiar with the el, los, la, las, un, una, unos, unas. That's all. That's all I want. And putting the adjectives after the nouns. That, again, even if you mess that up, they'll still understand you. But I just want you to be introduced. Okay? Here are the rules for those who are really, really determined to know the rules. Here are the rough rules. Very rough. Rule number 2. Nouns that end in O are usually masculine. El libro, el horno. But la mano doesn't match the hand. So it doesn't always, this is a usually, it's not an always. So what's the rule? There is no rule. It's just the King of Spain 10,000 years ago said this is Spanish and here's some masculine things, and that's it. I don't know. 2,000 years ago, whenever Spanish started, I don't know. So basically, the King of Spain said that a telephone was going to be masculine and a pencil was going to be masculine and a wall was going to be feminine. That was it. There was no rhyme or reason. It just is what it is. All right? So don't try to figure it out. Rule number 3. Nouns that end in an A, usually feminine. The door, la puerta, feminine. La casa, the house, feminine. Rule number 4. Nouns that end in sion, dad, tud, umbre, usually feminine. Maybe always feminine. I got to check on that. La exposición, la habitación, la felicidad, la solicitud, La costumbre. You're not going to remember it, so why try? Okay, but there you go. It's there, maybe in the back of your mind. It stays there, and you kind of remember it one day. Not a big deal. I'm not going to test you on any of this. Okay, rule number 5. If the noun ends in a ma, it'll be a masculine. El problema, el emblema, el enigma. I only care if you remember rule number 1. Don't worry, they'll understand you anyway. But at least today, you saw that there are kind of, sort of, some rules.